Hello everyone, I'm Finboy Airsoft. In today's video, we're going to be talking about gear. Um, right now. I'm not exactly in the place that I normally record at. I'm in my room because my living room is a complete mess right now. And honestly, I might start recording in here instead, anyways, just because I like it a lot more. Also, my cat's right here. She's gonna be showing, doing cat things, I guess. So yeah, um, gear is one of the most important parts of airsoft, but it can also be really tricky to find what you need and what you're looking for, and also trying to find something that's good quality. So today I'm going to be giving you just about everything that I really can, in terms of knowledge about gear, because it's a big thing. It can be expensive. It can be really cheap. So today I'm going to be telling you what all you need and where to get it. All right. So starting off, we have a pretty simple one. This is a mask of some sort or goggles to cover your eyes. So at every single airsoft field that you go to, you're going to need goggles that will protect your eyes, because if you get shot by an airsoft BB, you're probably going to go blind, and if you live in America, you're going to be drowning in medical debt. So always wear goggles, whether you're going in the backyard or if you're going to an actual field. Always wear goggles. And I prefer actual masks that go over your teeth, because if you get shot in the teeth, it can still knock your teeth out of place or completely knock them out, completely. So having something to protect your teeth is really good, and also getting shot in the lips sucks. So wear a mask. This is a entire, this is the whole thing, goggles and mask. It's like $20, pretty cheap. Obviously don't get anything too cheap that will break, because you don't want your stuff to get shot and then it shatter, because that's obviously not good. That can lead to some pretty bad injuries, and also you're going to have to get a new one. So this is probably the most important part. Definitely get one of these if you're going to an airsoft field. They might let you rent them. They might not. Who knows? It all depends on the field that you go to. Get a mask and goggles. It's huge. Next up, we have holsters. Holsters are pretty simple. They're pretty cheap as well, and they're really useful if you're running a sidearm or just small thing like an SMG or something like that. So here I have my pistol. If I put it in my pocket, this isn't a very good demonstration because it's a pocket of a hoodie, but it's a pain to get out, and it can easily slip out at any moment. You put it in a holster, you can pull it out really quickly, and also it's not going anywhere, especially if you have this little strap on, which I don't. Strap on, I didn't mean to say that. But having holsters is a huge thing. You can pull them out. You can pull your sidearm out quickly, which is a huge deal, especially if you're playing a more serious game, or if you're going like a CQB type thing. You're definitely going to want to be able to pull out your sidearm fast. So get a holster. You can get soft ones that can go with just about any pistol. You can get some that are molded to certain pistols. It's whichever. Just get the right one. There she goes. Alright. But get a good holster. They're pretty cheap, and they're very useful. So next up, we have vests. Vests are a little bit more on the expensive side of gear, but they can be extremely helpful. So this one that I have, it comes with mag pouches and little utility pouches and stuff like that, and it's extremely useful because it's pretty light. It's a lot better than having a giant jacket on. You don't get too sweaty with it or anything like that. Obviously, you can put all kinds of pouches and stuff on it that you want to. All kinds of custom pouches. Also, there's Velcro points on it, so if you want to put stuff on it that goes to Velcro, you can do that. Little patches or stuff like that. And it also protects you from BBs, because BBs still hurt. They don't hurt that bad, but it's still kind of a pain in the ass getting shot. So vests are really useful. You can still feel yourself getting shot with them, but it obviously doesn't hurt nearly as bad. And they're pretty light. You can carry them around easily, and they're just overall super useful for carrying everything that you need. Alright, so next we have spare parts. Spare parts are pretty huge, because if something goes wrong or you lose something at the airsoft field halfway through the day, the rest of your day is going to suck. You might not be able to play because you might not have a replacement gun. You might lose your battery. So always have replacement stuff. This is a extra battery that I have. Extremely helpful, because if your battery gets lost, which is probably the worst possibility, because batteries are a little bit expensive, it can ruin your day. But if yours go dead, also having a replacement one is huge, so that way you can actually keep on playing and not have to sit out for like an hour waiting for your shit to charge. So spare parts are huge, especially on parts that you know that might go wrong. So like gas systems or things that aren't very reliable. Always have spare parts of them, so that way you don't get your day ruined at the airsoft field. So this next part is pretty simple: lights and headlamps. Headlamps are better because you can just put them on your head, and they don't take up space in your hand, or you don't have to put them on the end of your gun heaving it down. But then you have flashlights. Flashlights are something that basically everybody has, and if you don't have one, they're extremely cheap. So just get one, because airsoft isn't the only thing that you're going to need it for. You should probably have a flashlight anyway. But they're extremely useful, especially if you're playing in the dark, or you're just going to an indoor place where it might be dark in some areas. You can have light, so that way you can actually see. You can have a big advantage over your opponents that don't have them. Even though if you're playing in the dark, people are probably going to have them, but for the people that don't, you're going to be at an advantage, and it's pretty huge. So bring a flashlight. Some people like to buy night vision stuff, which is pretty extreme and it's pretty expensive. I'm not going to talk about that because that's a whole different thing, and I have no experience with it, so I can't really give any advice on it. Alright, so for this next part, we have speed loaders. Speed loaders are huge and they're extremely cheap. Get one. They are a lifesaver. Whether you're just loading up your BBs normal, like you're loading up your mags or whatever, or you actually need it in a pinch because you're all out of ammo in your mags, you can just load up your mags super quickly. They're extremely helpful. They're only like $3. Just get one. Speaking of that, now we have mags. Spare mags are huge. I'm not going to get into the different mag types in this video. I'll do that on the next video where I talk about attachments. Spoiler. But having spare mags is huge because, if you run out of ammo in one, you got to have a replacement, or else, you're going to be sitting there trying to load up your mag in the middle of a gunfight, and that's going to suck. You're probably going to die. So get spare mags. They can be extremely cheap, extremely expensive. Don't spend too much money on spare mags, but don't go too cheap either, because there's a kind of sweet spot there. Don't buy cheap shit. Don't buy expensive shit. Just get some. I'll talk about them more in the next video, but spare mags are pretty big. This next part is pretty easy. Unjamming rods, they're pretty big. They can be, literally, they can be pretty big. This one's for my sniper. But unjamming rods are huge because, if your gun gets jammed, it's going to be a pain unjamming it unless you have one of these to just stick down the barrel and kind of just poke it out. But, yeah, they're pretty cheap. They usually come with guns that you buy, so, if you have your own airsoft gun, you probably have one somewhere. But if not, I'm sure you can probably find one for really cheap, so they're pretty big. Definitely get them. Or just have some. Alright, so to wrap it up, we have sidearms. I'll talk a little bit more about them in my other video, my video about, guns and what all you need. But for now, I'm just going to get into the simple stuff. Sidearms are pretty big, especially if you're running like a sniper or something like that, where if you get close, you're going to need something else to shoot them with. And obviously, if you're doing like a CQB type of thing, you're not going to be wanting to lug like a 8-pound rifle around a bunch of corners. That's going to suck. Get a little sidearm. This thing is like pretty expensive, $90, but you can find them for like $40. Like a decent like CO2 pistol for like $40, $50 at the most. And they're huge. They're a huge help. Whether you run out of ammo or you just need something to get around corners quickly. Sidearms are really helpful. Pistols, SMGs, whatever. Just, they're pretty helpful. You should probably have one. And, yeah. Next up, I almost forgot it. It's footwear. Footwear is extremely important. So, you don't want to be wearing something that's super uncomfortable for like 4 to 10 hours when you're at the airsoft field. So, having good, comfortable shoes or boots or whatever. These things are not comfortable. These things suck ass. Just let you know. I got like a ton of blisters on my feet from these when I was wearing them at the airsoft field. But having good shoes is extremely important. But obviously, don't go and buy like brand new shoes for airsoft, especially when you're playing outside, because you're going to get super dirty, muddy, and then you're going to get a bunch of marks on them and stuff like that. So don't buy new shoes. Bring old stuff. bring old boots that you have, whatever. Just bring something that you know you'll be slightly comfortable in, and you don't mind getting like pretty dirty and messed up. All right, so to wrap it up, that's basically all that I have for this video. I'm going to be talking about attachments in my next one, and then the one after that I'll go over the different types of guns and which ones you need. But until next time, this has been Femboy Airsoft. Thank you all for watching my videos. This is, pretty huge. So, yeah, I'll see you all in the next one.